I'm here. Let's wreck it out.
We are a go.
Yeah.
We are a go?
We are wrecked.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, all right, let's just do this first. Okay, so, all right, and so, I mean, so we just jump into it, or is because, yeah, okay.
So Alex,
And-
yes.
Why did you choose this film, Malik?
Oh, no particular reason.
Okay.
No, I've been writing a novel about a gambler, and I realised a lot of the stuff that I was using as a reference was from this film.
Oh.
And then I rewatched it and went like, fucking hell, this is I forgot how much I liked this. I kind of didn't only considered it as like a pick like recently, but yeah, I was just like, damn, there's a lot going on with this one, and like, yeah, considering it's not necessarily like the deepest film, I'd say, but it's just I think it's just kind of written very well and everything, and I particularly liked how they did little nods to the TV show, because James Garner was the original Maverick. Actually, fun little fact here. When I was this is the first time I've not been able to do the timeline very easily, so I had to go back and find out when the original show was set, and then work out how old James Garner would have been when he started and then when he finished. And then I had to add 33 years because that's how long it took between the show being like finishing and this film releasing. And yeah, I'm just really impressed because I think that twist.
That's smart.
Yeah, I think that twist works really well. It's written in such a way where you don't pick it up the first time. It's all like quite subtle stuff, and like when I showed it to Eb, she was like, "I thought he was just a bit strange." And I was like, yeah, that's kind of the thing. You just kind of go like, what the fuck is going on with you? Like, you just think he's a little bit of an ineffectual old guy. And then, yeah, you get the twist in, and it's like, oh, I see what was going on. But I thought I was looking for hints, and I was like, you can definitely get the hints for it like ahead of time, if you're looking for it. But if you're not looking for it, then it just sails over your head, and that's really, really difficult to do, I think. That's my main. Yeah, that's like the main reason. Really like this.
Did you watch the TV series or like watch or know about the TV series beforehand?
I knew about the TV series because I think I remember watching it with my parents, and I was confused, and they told me about it, and I was like, oh right, I understand now. Because yeah, I think people thought it was just going to be like a reboot kind of thing. So, James Garner being in it was he was just going to be like an unrelated character, like it was just like a little nod to it. So the fact that in canon he is his actual dad, and like the Mel Gibson version is his son, is like that's really fucking neat. Like, and then, yeah, I think it gives you a window into like what this family looks like, where the sort of shady gamblers, and like they're usually doing some sort of con or tricking somebody, and yeah, there's I kind of like the idea that they have like kind of like an unspoken respect for each other. Like, oh, if I catch you in the middle of a con or something, I just
That did call me by surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it. As I think I said last call, I saw this like on TV like a long time ago when I was much younger. Saw like the end like 10 minutes. Went, oh, okay, that's an interesting twist. And like the ending is quite funny in itself. So watching back on it now and going, oh, when he goes like, this is not Birdie, and I was like, oh right, yeah, because he's his dad, and it's just like how he would speak to his like not just a younger person, but it's like his kid. And I was like, oh, I absolutely saw throughout the films because I remembered the ending, just saw how it all played out, and it's actually quite a few hints about it, but it's just like seeing how it because you had prior knowledge to watch this film now, made it better, and because you go, oh right, yeah, I can see where they would do this and stuff, and I did not realize this film had so many fucking cameos. I was not expecting a fucking Lethal Weapon reference in this film, and I just went, what? Wait, why? And then he even says the line, "I'm too old for this shit," and I was like, this is fucking comedy gold. And I'm so glad you picked it. I get why. I think Pat said it was just like a Ben pick, but I was like, no, I feel like it has a very like I guess rustic, unique charm to it that I feel like Alec would really latch onto this film and make it his choice. And I feel like it is a slightly more you choice than the Ben choice. But I see why Ben would choose it as well, because it is quite a good. It is more funnier than I expected it to be. And I'm thinking, this film is great. I was like, I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, but yeah, I enjoyed this film. It's a great pick.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fun thing. It's not like the most. I don't think it wants to be like the most like deepest movie with like emotional dramas and stuff. It's like no, it's a little bit silly, and it's fine. That's perfectly fine, and it's great. How about you guys? How about you two? How about you, Ben or Pat?
Oh yeah. It's funny because it's one of the films that my dad was familiar with already, and he'd already liked this film, and my mum as well, because they grew up with the TV show and they knew all about Maverick, the show and the character, so they had this familiarity with it even before the film came out, and then the film came out and they kind of loved it because of how it kind of was simultaneously kind of like it was so respectful from the original series, but also came and did its own thing, but kind of it was a parody of westerns of the era, but at the same time it was in respect to them as well. Like there's so many cameos, like you say, of like old western actors as that many people didn't realize when they saw it. It's like there's a ton of like talent from the 50s and the 60s in this film. But what's so cool about this film is how smart the script is and how it's kind of it's very whimsical and irreverent. And yeah, this is how many people saw the West in that time growing up. But I thought it was really smart how they kind of built up the Maverick character, and then said that they got Mel Gibson to play the son of, rather than just a plain old reboot, which isn't as interesting. They got to kind of keep it in continuity to an extent and keep everything kind of like in the same vein and the same sort of like tone. And yeah, it just had this quite great quirkiness to it, and I just really appreciated the style of Richard Donner's filmmaking and how he managed to wrangle it all together. And Randy Newman's score and music, it just was like that cherry on the cake for me. It gives this kind of like oldie kind of style and feel, but it has this modern sensibility at the same time. And it's just kind of like a comedy of errors as well. It's just like one thing after another. Just like this guy goes from here to here, and this is what happens to him. And this happens because he does this, and then this happens because he does this. It's all makes sense in terms of like everything Maverick's character does leads him to the next part of his story, and it's just fun to see how his character goes. And I can see how you kind of like took the gambling side of things, and that central part of the story, especially in the final act, is so integral to kind of like wrapping it all up and going full circle. So I found it was really enthralling for that reason, because it's like I can see how you've kind of like, oh yeah, I can see how I can put this into my story and do this and that, because this is so interesting, because it tells you about this character and this character's motives, and this person does this because he wants this, and this person doing that because they want that. and it isn't just like, oh, I'm gambling just to win. It's just there's reasons for why they're playing, and that I felt was really full of character and full of like nuance, and I did appreciate that. And it's like, oh, this, because at the point where you think you get the flash forward of him in the beginning of Mel Gibson being on the hangman's rope, and then it goes, and then the film progresses, and you get back to that point where he's at the hangman's rope, and you feel that's going to be the end part of the story because that's how it usually is. But then you got this whole section after that, which is really unexpected, but I thought was a quite smart way to do it, because obviously the easiest way is that, oh, this is the final scene, how he gets out of the hangman's rope. But no, there's more to the story after that point, and it's really quite an unusual choice, but a really good one. Yeah, the good writing on this one, because it isn't it the guy who wrote Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. He wrote this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was. I think the name rings a bell, and I was like, oh, it's probably the guy who did that, and it is, and it's Richard Donner has a good sense of like, yeah, the script is well written because it's this guy who did this classic from the 70s, and it's like it all comes together really. So yeah, good film, good pick, Alec. Thank you.
Thanks. Well, Pat, before we get into why Emmanuel hated it.
So, obviously, I fell asleep before you picked it last week, and I got really confused. And said Maverick, I was like, oh fuck, I just watched this a couple of days ago. I'm very surprised you're picking it, but that's fine. And I went and scored it, and then you sort of said, is it that one? So I had to go and Google it. I was like, oh, there's a different one. Okay. So I got about 10 minutes in to my viewing today, and I paused it. I looked on the spreadsheet. I was like, who fucking picked this? And I was adamant it was Ben for some reason, because I was like, this is not an Alec pick. This is too much fun. No disrespect. Like, your films have like your films on the surface seem to be more layered for whatever, I don't know, whatever sort of story tone you wanna go with. Like, this one, just like I was having like a great time with it, even in like the first 10-15 minutes. I'd never known about the TV show. My mum actually mentioned that there was a TV show earlier, and like most of the stuff that happened, like with the twist at the end, I didn't see coming. I'll be honest. I think I was just having such a good time watching it. That sort of thing just went over my head, like the scene with the Native Americans, and the the reference that he made of white people taking his land, and next time he's going to move to a swamp. That got a belly laugh. But it was the first poker game that really made me laugh. I'll need to watch it again to remember the exact scene, but it was basically a load of the little tricks that he was playing after he said, I was going to lose for an hour. And there was one thing that Maverick did, and I was just sitting there giggling at it. Like, it was very well written. All the characters had a purpose. There was, to be fair, they were all quite well fleshed out. Like, you felt like you'd been introduced properly to all the main characters. And it actually took me about 3/4 of the way through to realise that one of the characters was played by Alfred Molina. Like, I was like, I've seen him before. Can't fucking remember where I've seen him.
Yeah, he's a good old Doc Ock right there. Just
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I was like, oh, that's who it is.
Did you say Doc Cock?
No, Doc Ock, but like
Oh.
it could be.
He seemed quite defensive there. But no, it was such a good film. Like I had a great time watching it. So yeah, good pick, Alec. Good pick.
Thanks.
It's good.
Why'd you fucking hate it, Emmanuel?
Is it my turn?
Uh oh.
Because it's my time.
Huh? Oh no, I was saying, is it my turn?
Oh.
On a side note, I did laugh when I saw Dan Hedaya from The Usual Suspects, and I was just like, oh wait, oh he's in this. Okay, it's like he's cameo in this. I was like, cool. Do you
Who
know
is
who I'm
he?
talking about? Let me send you the picture. He plays Mr. Twitchy. He doesn't have an actual name, but he plays Mr. Twitchy here in the trying to send picture to Discord. He plays Mr. Twitchy at one of the tables at the end, and I recognized him straight away, like in a back shot, and I thought, wait a second, is that him? And then they showed him properly, like after half a minute. It's like it is
Oh,
him.
him.
He's just chilling in this film. Cool. It's nice to hear about the other smaller things in this film. But anyway, main thing, it just was sorry, it just wasn't me really. Basically, I didn't think it was badly done or anything. I thought it was pretty well done, well written and whatnot, which is of course why I scored it pretty highly. Besides the impact also higher because I didn't get a chance to look up anything about the film because I'd never heard anything about the film. I never heard anything about the TV show. Like maybe someone mentioned it in passing while I was growing up, but it probably went over my head since I had no context for it. So yeah, I didn't know this existed. Um, I think in the film they said originally it was a book as well before it was a TV show, right? Or was it a TV show? Only
I think
show?
I think because it said
Maybe.
on the opening credits it was based off the characters of Maverick, so I think it might have been a book as well. But I think the book made the TV show. TV show is probably what's more famous, to be honest.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, point is, again, even though I thought it was well done, a lot of the characters and the type of comedy and a lot of things that happen basically just annoyed me. But
Oh,
not because I thought it was badly done. I just didn't like it. It just annoyed me. It's just certain things like that, unfortunately. And I had a really hard time getting through it, and I didn't want to keep watching it. And then an hour through, I think when it got to he was speaking with the Native Indians around that part, it got a bit better, and I think from there it got a bit better for me. But I was still annoyed most of the time. Um, Even though I didn't necessarily see the twist completely coming, I also wasn't surprised because it felt like one of those films. There's always something, and I think when or there's always something else, and when the dad, um, you see, oh, he's working with, um, um, what's the name? Um,
the Commodore.
Commodore? Commodore, thank you. I was just like, I see. And because and then as soon as his dad came in, I was just like, okay, we're gonna get the lady as well. And then he's probably gonna like have a backup or something else so that not all the money's there. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Um, I think it was done well, but yeah, I was just yeah, it just annoyed me. Lots of little things in the characters.
Was it just like a bit too sexist at the beginning for you, where he was like, "Oh my god, my shirt's dirty. Hey, woman, clean my shirt." Was it like that, or was it like the small things, right?
Oh, oh no, because one thing again, this is why I rated it high for writing. It wasn't taking itself seriously, and even the character, you could see he was a character who wasn't discriminatory, or who wasn't prejudiced, whether it be against sex or race or whatnot, and even make that comment to Annabelle, being like, "Look, not all people are like you. Basically, not all people hold prejudices or other or see or are unaware as you are or ignorant." Um, to me at the time, it just seemed like he was like, "Look, you're gonna take the piss and keep stealing it from me. I'm gonna take the piss from you. Now do me. Now you owe me. So do my shirt. You're taking the piss too much." And it's like it all made sense. Like him throwing her through the window. It's like, yeah, like he's very nice. There's many people who would have done much worse. And it shows like how his character and whatnot. But it was more that the characters just annoy me in like what they do. I'm just like, but I don't think it should have been done another way. I think it's good how it is. It's just one of it. Maybe it's the type of humor or the way it's done in the specific characters. But yeah, they just annoy me. Otherwise, it's really well done. Sorry, Alec.
No,
Nope. No, you don't take the sorry, or you nope, it's fine.
No. No.
Okay. So, just the reason why it does feel like a Ben pick as well, I've got to say, is because I didn't realize until I searched his name that the Commodore is Brett from the Magnificent Seven, and I was like, "Wow!" It just like kept with the cowboy or like the Southern and cowboy themes. They just like finished throwing knives and shooting guns. Now it's just like playing poker. It's like it felt very like complete to his like acting skill, acting roles. It's like, oh yeah, good, like rounds it out a bit more. I was like, yeah, it is quite a few people in this film that I just didn't realize how many famous people there were. Because
I don't want to blow your mind a second time, but he's in a very prominent Pixar film.
What was it? Is he Woody?
No, he's
No.
he's Mr. Waternoose from Monsters Inc.
Mr. Waternoose.
That's
Yeah, the crab guy.
awesome.
Because I was like, where do I know that voice? Who is that? I can't quite put my finger on it.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, it's also because you can't really see his face, so obviously you can't really.
You look like you got crab legs under there.
Gross.
Yeah, there's so many great actors of that era doing voices that kind of like we grew up with, and that's something I picked up with as well. It's just like you mentioned Magnificent Seven. There's a little bit of actors from The Great Escape in here as well, and from the Rawhide TV series that Clint Eastwood did in the 50s and 60s.
No,
It's all kind of all interlinked, and so Richard Donner did a good job of like getting all these people like, yeah, these guys are veterans from the westerns of the of this type of this era of Hollywood and stuff. So it's kind of like getting them back in to kind of bring them in full circle, especially at the poker scene where there's so many actors of that type there as well. But yeah, it's very well done.
Was this one of the? From what I read, it was supposed to be a very like big budgeted. How much money was used for this film. Because if they have so many actors, I can imagine they got paid a decent amount of money. So it could be like,
Yeah, good point. I think some of them just did it because they didn't care about the money. They just wanted to just have like their 5 seconds of screen time kind of thing. And though there's probably just want a little bit of wage, but I think I can't remember if this came up before or after Lethal Weapon 1 or 2.
this came after Lethal Weapon 3. But the
3.
reason why I know is because I checked.
Oh,
It
you
was
know
just
the
like,
date.
yeah. I was like, oh wait.
So before 4.
Yeah, it was before 4
Okay.
because this was made in 1994, and that was when after Lethal Weapon 3 was made like in 1992 is what I was saying.
Wow.
And like Lethal Weapon 4 is like made in like 1999 is what I was saying as well. And it's funny because I was just thinking, because and he's just like, he's done all 3 of these Lethal Weapons now, and it's just like it's just like Lethal Weapon, the cowboy version. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, wait. I was like, oh yeah, he's done it so many times. I feel like this gave him the motivation to go, fuck it, might as well do Lethal Weapon 4, and let's make Lethal Weapon 4. Yeah, I think you could have paired this with Lethal Weapon, and it would have been quite a good like double bill, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just like it has this sort of
same
feeling.
sort of like vibe and tonality to it. They kind of like don't take it too seriously, kind of silliness, but there's a lot of cleverness to it as well.
Can I just say though, I do think that cameo was like how you do a cameo. Like there was like a little bit of attention to it, but like it's not like a big.
Who's that?
Well,
I think it's just a sense of humor where you just kind of like, hang on a fucking minute, and then I just go, no, and it's really not a big bit.
Yeah, shotgun. That's my favorite scene.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot of people's favorite scene.
Just brilliantly done, because it kind of like has this building momentum of like, oh yeah, there's this bank robbery. No, it's just Mel Gibson having a joke, just having a little prank, and then there's an actual bank robbery straight after that, seconds after that, if anything. And the fact that it's Danny Glover, just like it's just icing on the cake. Is like, wait, do I know you? Wait, who is that? No, it was a yeah, it's just brilliantly done. And that was it. You don't have him recurring in any part of the movie after that. I think that's what's the strength of this film has, is that they just know when to say when. But other films, modern era, will just be like, oh yeah, just get him back for the final act or something. And so no, there's just that 5-minute cameo, and that was all that was needed. And so that's kind of like just brilliantly written and brilliantly brought to life.
Definitely. It just makes like the whole thing feel quite big. Like there's just like all these people just running around, and it's not only like people who are directly affecting Maverick. Is like there's like a whole like world of people around. Really nice.
I would say, I mean, it does affect the people around him, because when they got to the native scene.
I mean, it's not just people who are only relevant to the gambling thing.
Like right. What I meant is like, it's because Maverick or Joseph owes Maverick money, and he's like, oh shit, we have to talk to the fucking Archduke, and he's gonna like, yeah, we'll just split the money. Yeah, I need to ask for $1,000. No. If I split the 1,000, that would be 500. So I need to ask for $2,000. Yeah, because it all builds up because he needs to. Everyone lies to each other all the time, constantly in this movie, and I think it works quite well, because they were like, "You can trust me. Yeah, you know you can trust me. I'm good for it." And it's just like, no, you can't trust anyone in this movie. It's the reason why when Maverick is with Jodie Foster's character afterwards, and they're like, all right, yeah, he has to put his wallet and his watch back into the cupboard first before he does anything else. And it's just like, I fell for this twice now. I'm not gonna fall for it again. And it's just like, it makes perfect sense.
It's so good. I love that stuff. But there was a lovely moment. Actually, if we're shotgunning favourite scenes because someone's not here, one of my favourite ones is because of her, because I attended. I think it was like a running thing for when she's making out with him, and you can't see her hands. It's because she's trying to steal something. But she like legitimately thinks that he's going off to his death with the Indians. So when she kisses him, then her hands are on his chest, and you can see him because they're like in view. Like the camera like draws attention to it, and I thought that's really fucking neat. I really like that. Like just as a kind of like a show of like trust. It's like it's dead subtle, but.
What, doesn't she steal one of his cufflinks?
One of his cufflinks? I don't think so.
Yeah, because
she does.
Yeah, because the only reason
she takes one of his cufflinks as a keepsake. Because she's like, I have to keep something to remember him by when he goes off with the Indians. And she gives it back to him at the end of the film when he gives her back the whatever, the locket, the locket thing, whatever, that was still in his drawer when she locked the room.
That's still very nice. I like them.
Yeah. I mean, I was just like
torpedoed my point, but yeah.
I'm sorry, but it was like I was like, I get what you're trying to say, but I was like, but I'm pretty sure she still steals something from him. I was like, I can't remember, but it. I mean, as character is, he had to still take the piss where he's like, yeah, I thought they'd take your hands. Yeah, they took one of my hands, and he's got like he's got like a stump on the other one. After he pulls out, afterwards slaps him. I mean, well deserved. Yeah, it's well deserved slap, but like it makes sense. And all this film has. I mean, like talking about the with the scene with the Indians, it's funnier, and I thought it was a contrivance for a bit because you would expect that the Archduke would know how to use his own rifle quite well to shoot, hunt stuff, because he's been hunting all these animals in the area for such a long time. He got bored of it, and he's like, I get to kill an Indian? Wow, America's so amazing. I can finally do something like this. But he missed Maverick, and I was thinking, I mean, how did he miss him? Because if he's such a good shot from killing like buffaloes and all this shit, and it's like he should be able to shoot him. I realized I've been trying to fire my bow, and I was like, okay, and it hits him in the hand, and it made him lose like that hand grip, I guess. And it was like, oh right, if your arm is or your hand is sore, you can't really, and it's pretty shaky, you can't actually fire straight in a straight line because his hand is damaged. I was like, actually, it's not a good reference. So I was like, okay, put back the story score back up. So it's like, it makes sense, yeah, because it actually, I thought it did it. I thought it didn't make sense, but it's like they had a proper good explanation. I was like, that is a proper good explanation.
That was cool because it was the scene afterwards. It's like when the what's his face, the Indian guy goes and shows Mel Gibson's Maverick how it is, and it's just that was the whole point, is that he shows you that bow was kind of like rigged from the start, and that's that was quite clever of them anyway. And so yeah, it's the silliness in it that kind of like, oh yeah, there's a lot of silliness, but at the same time there's a lot of cleverness as well inside it all, which I thought was really pretty good.
Yeah. I think the thing to criticize there is the fact that Mel Gibson is he just kind of wanders. He just sort of wanders into the open and stops and goes, huh?
Yeah, he does go like, huh?
That's the
and
bit,
then he's like, oh, because if he was a bit like more competent, it would make more literal sense, but at the same time, it still works. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, those bits.
I appreciate them explaining it. Joseph's like a very, I think Joseph's like a very standout character. Like, I think you get a lot of like the comedy kind of stuff because I did like it when they were tracking the Indians and everyone's going like, oh yeah, it's definitely Indians, and Maverick's like, nope. lots of signs that it's not actually.
Yeah, that was great. He's kind of bullshitting them all. Was like, yeah, these savages. He's like, I'm gonna like pretend that they're this and that, but it's like, yeah, we're just mates. And so that's brilliant about it. Is that like, yeah, they're just normal people. They're just making their way in the world, and yeah, he's a friend. He just owes me money. That's it.
The only thing I was just wondering is if Maverick Senior or Cooper actually
Mhm.
knew like Indian speak as well, and he's just like listening to the conversation because their conversation was pure like just like nonsense. And it was like, and because he says like, "Hey, hurry the fuck up! It's hot up here," and it's like, "Okay, yeah, just shoot in the air and scream really loudly, bang!" And it's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, they're really upset with us. We've desecrated their sacred grounds." And it's just like I can only imagine if his dad was just say listening to the conversation. It's just like, what the fuck are you saying? And he's just like,
That'd be it. But yeah, I kind of like that little exchange they have as well when he's like, "Oh no, I should really be the one to go because I nearly killed you twice already." And he's just like, "Well, third time's a charm." And it's like, oh, I love that stuff. He's absolutely like fucking devastating, and like I think it's also when he's like, "Hey, with my hands cut off, my lucky shirt might fit again," and Jodie Foster's like, "Oh fuck." I thought that was great. Just another like little like just thing that she's being sincere. Like realize that we spoke about how the moment of sincerity I pointed out wasn't actually like fully. She still does nick something off him, but still. But yeah, I think
in her own way though, it's still sincere because it's only like just one of them, not both.
precisely. And I'm gonna write that down.
Oh,
Good.
it was very good.
I think all the actors' performances in it were pretty damn good. Like Mel was probably one of the best, the most charismatic I've seen him in, and Jodie Foster was amazing as usual. And
Yeah, I
See,
don't
this
want
was
to draw
in a.
attention.
I was just gonna say this is in an era where like Mel Gibson seemed to to give a shit about his acting career.
yeah, he was at his peak. It's such a shame that he turned into a piece of shit afterwards. He was such a good actor.
I just want to draw attention to the fact that it's really. I don't know. I find it like very impressive when people make their characters likable on purpose. And like if you have a character, if you have Annabelle going, God, you're just so irritating and likable. He needs to be likable because like you really don't want your audience going like, is he? So like
Yeah, you don't
it's
want
very yeah. It's so like the fact that they did it well enough to kind of like reasonably go, yeah, is he likable? And like for it to be true for everyone who's not a manual who I've ever shown it to. But yeah, it's all like very purposeful, and you kind of get that charisma off him when it's that first poker game, like when he's going like, I will lose for 1 hour, and everyone's like, fuck yeah, let's do that. But like yeah, you can kind of tell that people are on his side because it's It's when the gunfighter is like trying to have a go at him, and then he's sorry, I do love that bit with the quick draw, like
Yeah.
when he's like, and everyone's like,
That
whoa!
was the scene. That was the one. Sorry. When he started saying, "Shall we play 5-card draw?" And then, that was the bit that really made me laugh.
You get such a measure of him that you're just like, ah, we'll do 5-card draw. No, I'm just joking.
yeah, that was great.
That was the first time I laughed in about a week. So that scene was magic.
Glad to hear that. But yeah, it's after he's just going like, "God, there's a fucking spring in there. I don't know where that's coming from." Like, you know, I like that whole stuff, but like you can kind of once he's kind of done with that, everyone sort of is looking at him in a different light, and he's going like, "Right, well, guys, so we just go back to playing poker," and he's just like, who wants to play poker? And they all kind of put their hands up, and he's like, "Who wants to see some guy get killed?" And no one puts their hand up, and he's like, Nah, let's just play poker." And you can see they've got like he's got them on side, and they're laughing along with his joke. So when he goes like, "The 5-card draw," and like the gunfighter's like, "What the?" But everyone's laughing. And it's like, yeah, you kind of get it's a nice show of his charisma, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of goes like you can see how it's inspired so many like protagonists from films after this. Literally every other kind of like big major blockbuster. Because it's kind of, yeah, you want him to be likable, you want to have a bit of charisma, you want him to have a bit of like charm, but be flawed as well, and be this and that. And it's kind of like he's kind of like the textbook protagonist of any big blockbuster, any big Hollywood epic, because he kind of ticks all the boxes. But and here it kind of does it in a way that's kind of like, yeah, he's just in it for the ride. He's on the journey, but he's kind of like the story isn't really plot driven, but it's more character driven in terms of like, yeah, these guys go from here A to B because of what they want rather than what the story wants them to do. And so I thought that was quite smart in terms of that, and you can see how every film after this kind of like, yeah, let's just kind of use this like template as like how we can make our main character like likable without already trying. But in this case, they kind of do the work, making him like not so much redeemable, but more so much like relatable without being too on the nose. So he's just, yeah, I think
I
it's
like how they don't have him be like amazing at everything. He
Yeah.
like projects himself being amazing at everything. He wants people to think he's amazing at everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, like the fist fight and stuff, he's paid people ahead of time.
Yeah, exactly. The audience at first thinks he is, and then afterwards you presented with the fact that, oh, actually he's just paid these guys, like you say, and so, oh, it's just kind of like it's just a ruse, as it was. But that kind of makes his character more interesting because he's kind of like a con man, and he does what he needs to do to get by, and that's what it was in the West. And this is the type of old West that we're in, and that these people do this and that, and he's an honest guy that does some dodgy stuff, but he's got a heart of gold, and that's the perfect main character.
And I think I think they do like a really good job, because I think with a lot of modern stuff nowadays, they kind of go a bit too far into making protagonists look a bit silly and ineffectual. Whereas with Maverick, I feel like he really walks a line where, like, he does have moments of looking a bit silly, and there's moments of, you know, when they're going like, yeah, you did a good job making me look good out there, and he's just like, oh yeah, thanks for pulling your punches, and he's like, oh, those are my best shots. Like you have like those moments where you're like, oh, he's actually kind of crap, but like you also see that a lot of it works, and a lot of it is fooling people, and a lot of it's like going quite far.
Yeah,
And-
and it's one to be made a fool of as well. Like obviously the Indian guy is like he's constantly taking the piss out of him and just like trying to just like he's just like a good friend would just take the mick out of him. And, like, the trouble nowadays is that the characters are taken too seriously and they don't get to be silly and they don't get to be kind of like taking the rise out of. But that's kind of makes them more relatable when you do that.
But like, yeah, he is still like, yeah. I think he walks a line where you can kind of laugh at him a little bit, but he is still like you can still recognize he's still pretty good at what he's doing. Like, yeah. And then you have also, can I just say, I fucking adore. There's a little payoff where people keep getting his name wrong, and then when he goes to confront the guys around the fire,
and he gets it wrong.
he's going like, "Oh, my name's Brett Maverick." So kind of like take the piss out of Jodie Foster a little bit, and then he does his spiel, and he's like, "Okay, let's all get up and let's go over there." And someone goes like, "You're all right, Bart." I was like, getting his fake name wrong. Very good.
That was great, and it just got how he kind of like, oh yeah, and this woman, she's the most ugliest creature in the world, and he's just like ripping into her, and she's like, what? That was so brilliantly done.
When she's making love, she has to pretend she's somebody else. It's hard to make jokes like reliably funny, and like if you're gonna have a character who's wisecracky, like you need to make sure the jokes are good because that shit gets tiresome pretty quick. Not everyone feels that. I understand. Anyway, I'm doing a lot of talking, so I'm gonna let you guys just.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
When
sorry, that was me sneezing.
Oh.
So when it starts with when we get introduced to Cooper, his dad, and he does the scene with him getting on the carriage with the old man and the old man dying. He couldn't have planned that, right? It's like I always thought. I was thinking about it. I'm watching it now. I was thinking he didn't plan that. Or did the old man dying was part of his plan? If it was part of his plan, as amazing part of his plan is he go up afterwards. It was like, no, it couldn't be part of his plan. It's just like but he really did let his son just go. Well, if I can just climb up, didn't it? No, I'm just gonna sit down and watch this wheel. No, you climb up and you get the horses. It's fine. Trust your old pappy. Oh, I mean, it doesn't say that, but like it's just like. I don't know why he didn't give him a better hand. I didn't give him like just a little leg boost. I feel like he could have done a little bit more because his own life was in danger. I don't know if that's like a code between conmen or Mavericks. I just like no, don't get too involved with each other unless it's part of the plan. And it's like, in my opinion, because he did really fall off the cliff, and he was like, help. And he pulls him up, not before like pulling his arm and stabbing it into the fucking cactus. And it's just like I was like, I don't know if that's like, are you just taking the piss at that point? It's just like it's a fine line between like just like being dicks to each other and like being just being like it's part of the plan.
What's the thing like when he's kind of hanging over him, like it is, he's not going to let him drop. But like while he's helping him up, he's like, oh, cactus, and he's like, fuck you. Yeah, I said like just the fact that he just sort of flies under the radar basically the whole time. I think it's like such a testament to how good the writing is, like. Because even like stuff with him calling him Bertie and knowing. Sorry, this is like my favorite thing. This is my favorite kind of like film with a twist because like you watch it the first time and you get surprised by the twist. You watch it the second time and you have knowledge of the twist, and you can kind of just appreciate. You get like all these sorts of meanings from it. So like when he's getting his name wrong, he's doing it to piss him off, but he can't like directly go like, look, all right, son, shut the fuck up. He has to kind of like just go like, I need to piss you off in a sort of subtle way, so I'm gonna get your name wrong. And it look, just the first time you watch it, it just looks like it's a guy who's like just not that concerned with what his name is. But knowing it's his dad, he knows it's something that fucking winds him up. And so but it's also something that he might. But it's quite like a parental sort of like slap down, like fuck off, like shut up, birdie.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I started talking too much again.
No. It's just the second part of that. I was going to be were the lyrics to Amazing Grace wrong? Because I think they sang the right lyrics. Unless I don't remember the lyrics to Amazing Grace, I feel like they sang the lyrics correctly.
Well, we do have a resident American here, so he can verify. Also, Christian, so double trouble. He could definitely tell us the words to Amazing Grace.
Sorry, as you know, I was not in a state, and I also didn't care at that point, so I wasn't paying much attention.
Because
you are just killing me right there.
Because she makes a mention of it, like at the end of like at the twist, she makes a mention of like, yeah, you both sing the wrong words to Amazing Grace, and they're both like, do not. And it was like, were the lyrics wrong? Because like I checked and it didn't seem wrong, so I don't know if that's like a point from the movie, because it's like if the lyrics were correct and they just like
I'll check. Just give me a minute. I'll get back to you.
Fair enough. But it's just like listening to it, and it's just like I don't think it was wrong. Maybe if there's like another version, like in the more old Western version, then maybe. But like from what I understand, there wasn't really a point that she could have made of it with it. I like obviously saying like it kind of looked similar and similar builds and like similar like mannerisms. That's the whole thing. But like Amazing Grace, no, Amazing Grace was correct from my knowledge. It's
Couldn't tell.
it's just it's just like just the way that they act around each other is kind of like very apparent. And with Maverick learning his like Native American like tracking skills, where he just gets on the floor, looks like he's listening for horses, but he's like, no, just fucking take a nap. It's just this shit's too annoying anyway. Just have a nap. We'll get into it in the morning. All right. And it's just like, yeah, just piss her off so much.
I've got to say, I'm glad we didn't wait for Rob.
We'd still be waiting.
Yeah, I don't know what his turn.
I mean, like,
hope he's all right.
I'm surprised he didn't get on the call like me and Simon on his own, or Pat as well.
Well, it's not.
Home.
If he doesn't get on the call because his signal's bad, it's like one thing. But like, I'm surprised he didn't message saying, I guess I'm still far away from the station, or like I'm still stuck on the train because there was like something happened on the train. I'm like that's slightly concerning.
He's just got back.
Oh, okay. Now, as we say it, is he got the message pop up. Yeah. Okay, that means he needs to set up. It's gonna take him 10 minutes at least to set up.
Oh man, he's gonna watch this back and be like, "Oh, glad you started after then. Great."
Well, I think he would rather that we record something and he could edit it out if he really needed to, or unless we stop the filming right now and we switch.
Good night, everybody.
We switch back to Discord and we'll be fine. Yeah. Okay.
Simon. So I checked. You were right. As probably why I didn't notice anything either, even though I wasn't paying attention. But basically, so they say, "Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me," which is the correct line. The joke is that Annabelle insisted wrong. It's wrong, and she does it to undermine Maverick as part of her playful banter, even though everyone knows that that line is correct, because everyone knows it. So it's just part of her character.
Oh, so she was just fucking with them in the most literal sense and figurative sense.
Exactly.
Okay.
She was teasing with her, but they both obviously reacted the same way. So she's just taking a piss.
Sorry, you saying teasing there just reminded me of like one of my favourite little bits, because it's when Alfred Molina's getting in his face. And he's just like, "Oh, I called you a lying cheat," and he's like, "Oh, well, I knew that, but I just assumed you were teasing." And then like the whole like fist fight thing happens. And he's just like, "What was it you called me again?" And Alfred Molina's like, "Oh fuck," and he's like, I called you a lying cheat." And he's just like, "Oh yeah, cheat, yeah, definitely, yeah, I know, I remember now." He's just like, "But you know, I was just teasing," and I was just, I thought it was really nice that he like reincorporated Maverick's own word to try and get him out of being in shit. And then Maverick's like, "Oh, teasing, I don't like being teased." It's like nice, fucking great, big fan. It's just the way his face drops. Well, okay. No worries, didn't think that'd be controversial.
It's good.
Oh no, I was just checking out the GIF that was put into the Discord, and I was just like seeing what that was about. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, that one's gonna. Have you seen a lot of South Park?
I haven't seen it for a long time.
Okay, but yeah, that episode makes a lot more sense after you've seen Braveheart, because the whole thing is Mel's going, "You're gonna torture me, ain't you? You're gonna twist my nipples and do horrible things to me, aren't you?" And I was like, I don't think I get it. And then Pat picked Braveheart, and I was like, "Oh right, okay, I understand."
Yeah. Okay, Mel Gibson. Yeah. Right, favorite scenes. Simon, can't be the Danny Glover scene.
I'll get back to you in a second.
Alec.
My scene was the scene you guys just ruined, where you told me it wasn't what I thought it was. So
Wait, what one?
with the hands on the chest.
Oh,
I was like, "Oh, that's really sweet." And it is still really sweet. It is still really sweet. I don't care. She took a cufflink. That's dead sweet.
it's still good.
Mine's definitely the first poker game.
Oh, cool.
It's so nicely put together, that one. I'd also like to put forward when he pretends to be a lawman to get the Duke and shit. Of like just to get the Duke to give him money.
Yeah.
I just was like, "You're going away for a long time, Dookie." I just thought that was but yeah, it's so funny. I mean, of course, also like, you know, there's the bit with the Ace of Spades. Like, obviously that needs to be mentioned. I think that's set up like really nicely. He thinks he's like always believed he's had like a magic power to
But like,
cut to the deck, like, and he's
not
tried
really
it.
half the cards, it felt really anime-ish, and I was like, oh, why did I pick Heart of the Cards when he?
Excuse me. You can't have a fucking problem with Heart of the Cards.
I
now.
don't, but it just imagine Mel Gibson and Yukio. That's just like it's just like my worlds are clashing, and it feels a bit odd. He's just like half the cards, and it's like the 8 of clubs, whatever. And it's like half cards. Oh yes, the 8 of spades. Then he does it again, and it's like the Queen of Hearts, and it's like that's nice. It's actually quite nice actually. It felt very like sweet in that moment. I was like, oh yeah, it's just like
you can't moan about things feeling too anime with the amount of anime you've made.
Oh no, I'm not complaining. It's just like it just unexpected Heart of the Cards anime moment.
Unexpected anime.
Like, yeah, unexpected anime. It's kind of like with the opening scene where it was this meme that starts with a disc scratch, and you're like, and it goes, yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got into this situation.
Oh yeah, it is a bit like that. I did think that too.
It's that beginning scene where he's like on the rope and the snake's coming out, and you just need to freeze frame it. And the disc scratch, he goes, "Yep, that's me. That's when you're wondering how I got in this situation." Yeah. And it's just like, and it plays off into the beginning of the movie, and it's just like, yeah, it would have been perfect. Just needed that perfect disc scratch, and it's
even that though, just the fact they start like you see all that happening, and you know he's been tied up and he's on a horse, and if the horse goes anywhere, then he's gonna like be hung by his neck until he's dead. He's on like a tree. There's all snakes around him, and he's just like, I knew it'd be a shitty week from the beginning. I was like, perfect, absolute, like just excellent first narration there. Just like you get him entirely from that. Just very blasé. This is a Tuesday.
It's just a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Not to quote Street Fighter.
But I feel like my favorite scene is definitely like the whole end part when they're in the bathroom revealing the twists. So all of that is probably the favorite scene or favorite like
the bath revealing the twists.
Yeah, I mean it really was though. It's mainly because it was the scene that stuck with me since I've watched this film.
It was like
again. It was when she was, well, I mean, she was seeing the fishes were the same, you know, and they were the same for her, and they obviously looked at their own. They looked at her, looked at their own junk, then they looked at each other's junk, noticed that when they were looking at each other's junk, and they went, ugh, and it was just like, that's gross, but incredibly funny. Just like, I don't know, that scene stuck with me just because they did the same exact sort of like facial expressions at the same time. I don't know how they practiced it perfectly. It's just like, gross, and it's just like, yeah, it was perfect. So seeing that, like, it really lends into the characters of them being Mavericks, and it's just like, yeah, it's a very neat scene. Obviously, the Danny Glover scene is also a very favorite scene of mine, but unfortunately, Ben shotguns it, so I can't choose it again. So,
you can still choose it. He doesn't have any power.
Yeah, it's true. But a person who might have power, who has
face go.
A person who has the power and he just jumped into the call and hasn't said anything is Rob. What was your introduction to this film?
What was your introduction?
Sorry, I like that a bit there.
I don't think you're gonna get it.
Oh, never mind. I mean, like, who else hasn't done favorite scene?
I mean, Emmanuel hasn't, but I won't hold your breath.
Yeah, Emmanuel says that my least favorite scene is
the end credits.
Actually, the end credits were actually quite nice. During in Toy Story,
That's
just like, oh, good old Randy Newman. And who's the guy who sings?
He's
Is
a
that-
Randy Newman.
Randy Newman.
In need of a shag
Oh, that-
Newman.
Yeah.
Okay. I was
Oh,
like,
it's-
is it him singing? Because I can't remember if he did like just like for Toy Story.
Yeah, he usually does like the score and the final film song as well. As that was kind of his signature thing. He did the whole score, but he would do the song for the soundtrack album too.
Cool. That's a cool little thing. My favorite part, I think it was probably the part with the Native Indians, like that whole kind of part of the movie probably. But especially specifically when sorry, one moment.
He's just
Okay, sorry.
looking over his notes.
No, that's my wife's talking to me. Especially when he was just like, "What are you doing? It's like, how long is it gonna take? It's freaking hot, man." And it's just like, "Oh, nice." Ooh, we can talk. I think their relationship is nice that they have that, and even like when he's on the bike and the kids are pushing him, he's just like, "What the crap is this?" It's like, "Yeah, got it from this Russian guy." He's like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to a horse, thanks." I think that whole thing is nice, like for them to have that kind of relationship, and for him to trust Maverick around his kids, his family, his tribe. It shows his character, and it kind of suggests that they've had like they've gone through like many things together. Yeah, that was nice.
I did love that when he kind of like falls off it and he's just like, what the fuck? How does this work? And he's just like, we don't know. No one's ever ridden it before. Fun. See, I can have fun. You all thought I couldn't, but I can.
Dun dun dun.
It's
If it
fun.
helps Alec, I never doubted.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like fun is like depending on each person.
The eternal seesaw, isn't it? It's like I have fun, and then you don't have fun at all.
It could be right there.
There it goes.
I feel like there's a movie quote somewhere in the back of my head that would perfectly suit the situation, but I can't think of it. Oh,
How did you do that, Ben? You just summoned him. You did a Star Wars quote, and he appeared.
It's back.
The best thing was that when I joined, the first thing I heard was Simon going, "You're probably wondering how I ended up here."
Hey, look, everybody's wondering how Simon wound up in the film club.
Yeah.
Take that.
I mean, just got thank him anyway.
What took you so long?
Oh, just transport and whatnot.
Yeah, but you could have messaged to say that you were still on the train.
Basically.
Huh?
Oh,
Yeah,
were you on the toilet in the train?
I wasn't on the toilet at all. And if I did need a toilet in the train, I wouldn't have left my seat.
Were you getting a train from like out of Mongolia, or
Why not?
all right? Well, did you like the film? Was it all right?
Yeah, I did. I really liked it. Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I'm a big fan of Lethal Western.
You were thinking of that on the train, weren't you?
Yeah, no, I really liked it, man. Like it's yeah, I was quite excited to watch it because, like I said earlier, like there's not really like many chances to watch a Richard Donner film for the first time. So I thought it was quite a cool pick from that point of view. But yeah, I thought it was really cool, man. Like it's I think I probably enjoyed all the things that I enjoy about Lethal Weapon in this. Like it's just it's not overly serious. It's just let's go and have fun in the West. Which a Western in the 90s that's kind of what it should be. Yeah. Yeah, we do. You know,
Night, Jen.
Alex said good night.
Come to bed.
No, Alex said good night.
Night, Alec.
Night, Jen.
Night.
Ben said good night as well.
Good night.
Ben.
Pat said good night as well.
Good night, John.
But after me.
You come to bed. Come in. Let's stay there.
Yeah,
then.
all right. No worries.
Frank. Islam, will you roll?
I think
Favourite scene?
one. No, I don't know, maybe it is a favourite scene. I don't know, but like it's one bit that really had me like. I don't know if it is because it was unexpected, but it really had me laughing was Danny Glover's cameo.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, sadly, Ben's already picked that one, and he's got the monopoly.
No, how
Shotgun
could you?
that favourite scene.
How could you? Oh,
But
I'll
it
think
is
about it.
brilliant, isn't it?
Don's
It's just
And
Oh,
I've
it's
got
so
the first
subtly
poker
done.
game, so you can't have that one up.
Yeah.
Maybe I related it to when we used to play poker in the garden. I don't know. What's Emmanuel's problem?
It's sucked.
He just fancied scoring it low, so I couldn't win anything.
That old issue.
It was all political.
I was really surprised to see those scores. I thought it'd be like pretty universally liked.
You know
Yeah,
what?
I thought-
Me too.
Yeah, I thought Alec would be honest.
I'm still surprised it was an Alec pick.
Like I said, it was just
Sorry.
like in Bruges, where I was like, "This is safe." Everyone I've ever shown this to has absolutely adored it. And then it was like, that was Emmanuel's very first week. It was like, "Yeah, come on, Emmanuel, what's the problem? Everyone's gonna love this." And he just went, "Oh, actually, I fucking hated it." And I was like, "What the fuck?" It was gonna win. It was gonna win if not for you. What occurred? What happened? How did this happen? When? What's going on in your brain? What?
Rob, what I was saying earlier in the call was like, I got about 10, 15 minutes in, and I had to stop it and check the spreadsheet to see who picked it.
To be fair though, Alec's having quite a fun year because he's picked this. He's picked planes, trains, and automobiles. He's given Cool Runnings a 10 for enjoyment.
To be fair, it just didn't seem like an Alec pick. It felt very much like a Ben pick.
Yeah,
And
I know what you mean
and it
about that.
felt very much like a film that I would have at some point come across and be
To be
like,
fair,
"Hey
though,
guys, watch this film," and then everyone else hates it.
I totally get what you mean about it seeming like a Ben pick, but I think the humour is kind of like not totally, but like kind of Mel Brooks-ish. And Alec likes Mel Brooks.
I haven't ever seen a Mel Brooks thing.
The producer.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
okay,
say.
I've seen it. Oh, yeah, I tried to forget that.
Because I gotta say, Pat, I
Oh.
can see what you mean because it is. I think when I was showing Ebbet, I was sort of like, yeah, this has got a real old sense of humor. Like, yeah, I think that, yeah, a lot of the piss taking is from like I think like a bit of an older generation. So I can see why you thought this was a Ben pick.
I'm also very surprised that this was the first time I've seen it, considering I'm well known as someone that likes Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And
To be
this,
fair though, I think it kind of got forgotten.
Yeah, I think.
yeah, but
Oh.
considering it's Mel Gibson and the director Richard Donner, that's the one, isn't it?
The director Richard Donner, as opposed to The Woodsman.
You would have thought that I would have come across it at some point, but no, until Alec picked it and me mistaking it for Top Gun.
To be
And-
fair, you are the progenitor of it, because I probably wouldn't. Well, I think you picking something with Maverick in it made me go,
Well, that's the thing. Like, I woke up still on the call last Sunday, and then I was like, oh, I better come off this and see if they put anything up. And then nothing was put up. And then I looked on the spreadsheet and it said Maverick. I was like, oh, it's very strange. I didn't expect anyone else to pick it. But Simon's name was still on it, so I was like, Simon's picked Top Gun too. Oh, that's nice. I've already seen it, so I can score it now. And then Alec was like, it's not the film that you think it is. So I ended up going on IMDb, putting in Maverick, and I was like, huh. And then Alec did put the post in. Then just after that, I was like, oh, okay, it's this one. So I looked at a trailer and I was like, this film looks a bit meh. But
Oh,
the film is so much better than the trailer.
hang on. Why did
suggests.
Emmanuel just sound offended at that? I
That's
can't believe you call
Emmanuel's
this a bit
trademark.
mid.
That's Emmanuel's trademark for when he scores something 2.5. When somebody says like the slightest thing against it, he groans.
Me? I thought it was a classic, an enduring classic of the ages. That's why I scored a 2.5 for enjoyment. Yeah.
But yeah, the trailer's not the best.
I've never seen the trailer.
But the film was excellent.
Yeah, I think
Well,
it's. I'm so enamoured by it that I'm tempted to give Top Gun a +1 for impact.
Ah, I approve of that. You can give it a +2
sorry.
if you want.
I nearly
Alec.
choked on my fish cake. Fish cake.
Be careful, please. Alex, sorry, I should have said, not honest, I should have said, oh, and here I thought Alec wouldn't tease me. In keeping with the film. That's what I was thinking in my head. Anyway, is when Rob
You are
asked me
very-
why I didn't like the film.
You're very fuzzy. I didn't actually get what you said.
One moment.
Yeah, not good.
Weasley little Palmer
Okay,
there,
can
just
you-
hiding behind. Oh shit! Yeah.
Can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Give me
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's Frank.
Oh, Frank. Hey. Sorry. Oh, is Rob gone? I just came on really to tell him what he had asked.
And then he's run off.
Just
Okay,
turned
I'll wait
into
till
a
he comes back.
Yeah, Rob's on the toilet. Not I.
So Rob's turned into Frank.
This is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? All over again.
I hope this isn't vengeance, because I did score. Oh brother, where art thou? Very well.
He turned
Frank,
really
into a
liked it.
frog.
Oh, Rob, he's a dog. He's been turned into a dog.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, his ass is out.
Yeah, I know. Like a dog, he has no underwear.
Oh, man.
What a lyric! Like a dog, he has no underwear.
Oh, man. It still gets me that they went on multiple tours after that film because the music was that well loved. I mean, it's not surprising they were all famous country stars, but still. Anyway, I'll let y'all talk until he comes back.
Yeah, don't lose your train of thought, Emmanuel. Don't forget it. He's forgotten.
Well, this is now my lowest rated film of the year, because Emmanuel sunk it.
He only sunk a couple of categories.
Well,
Oh,
a couple
Oh,
of
Rob,
categories is all it takes.
yeah, Rob's gonna sink it even more now. He's so pissed off.
Oh yeah, he just left. Okay. Anyway, this is scuffed.
He's a fucking disaster tonight.
Oh. All right. Yeah, everyone has those days. It's fine. I mean, if he's left, that means Emmanuel can't really come back and ask him or tell him what his question was. So, any other like ending thoughts?
Yeah,
It's
more like
good.
this, Alec.
No problem. But yeah, no, I can. When I was watching it, I was sort of like, I can see Pat being surprised I picked this because it is just sort of like a fun one. And yeah, it's one that's just kind of. I think that's also probably what makes it a bit of a Ben pick. Is like it's just it's got a lot of nostalgia for me. And then, like I was quite surprised actually because I said to my dad I was picking it and I was like, oh yeah, do you remember? Because I thought he'd be like quite excited and I was just like, no, I'm picking Maverick and he just went, yeah, that one's all right. And I was like, I remember us watching it together. I thought it was like really, really good. But yeah, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, tear little tear roll. But you know what? It is really good, and I'm trying. I guess this is as good a time to mention as any. I am trying out a new system.
Oh no.
Where no, you'll like it. It's kind of incorporating a out of 100 scale, and we're starting at 50. So every film starts at 50, and yeah, I'm still doing like the conveniences and contrivances and stuff, but I'm also awarding points, so it can go up and it can go down. So yeah, I gave this from 50. I gave this 38 points positively, and I took 8.5 points off negatively. So I wound up with 79 out of 100, which relates to an 8 out of 10. So
My
yeah,
favourite score.
your favorite, but yeah, I felt like I got a more complete picture of the film, just kind of appreciating what it did well and sort of like what it was doing with setups and payoffs and sort of just logical sort of character actions and things like that. So yeah, I think looking into these sort of things, just just looking at it with that kind of lens, I think yeah helps get a bit of a better view of stuff. And that all came out of Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon Part 2, because it was so shit it just destroyed my system entirely. Okay, but like, we can't give something a -20. We have to like think these things through. So yeah, thanks Zach.
That was complicated.
Idiot.
Yeah. I mean,
no, it's very complicated. And you know what? I did just do it on Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, and it's broke my scale again. But in the other direction. So don't know. Maybe scaling stuff is stupid. I don't know. But
Yeah, use hundreds.
yeah, no, I just said I'm using hundreds.
Oh yes, yeah, indeed.
So yeah, with that segue, we will see how Simon's stuff stands up with the new system.
yeah, it's my choice this week, isn't it? Yeah. It just seemed a bit too early for me to be last week because it felt like there was only 4 movies. Now it's at least 5 movies.
Well, Ben can do it if you want.
No, it's good. It's good now. So, talking anime.
Oh.
So, I have chosen the one probably one of the only good live of an anime movie. I have chosen Ronin no Kenshin, sometimes known as Samurai X in the West. I've chosen the live action version of this film to see if any of you guys may or may not like the live action version of this incredibly anime movie. It's available on Netflix and on Amazon. There is
sorry. How are we spelling this? Ronin O.
the Kenshin. Ronin Kenshin.
The accuser.
No, well, no.
Ronin Genshin.
Kenshin. Okay.
Ronin Kenshin.
Yes. It's sometimes known as Samurai X on certain places, depending on like the distributor. That's how I remember it's called. It's a guy with big like X shape on his face, with red hair. Is quite like is quite like anime famous.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin is. Oh, okay. Maybe they pronounce it differently. But like, yeah, that's the film. It's on Amazon. It's on Netflix. I think it's still on Netflix at least. Those are the two. That's the film. This is the anime that has a caveat of the problem of can we differentiate the art from the artist? Because unfortunately, the artist has been found to be not a good person. And let's just
okay.
that.
We've already done Leon the Professional.
Oh, you have? Okay, yeah. So yeah, this guy. So the artist was found out to be nuts.
And we've had like 3 or 4 spacey films, so
yeah, we've done lots of that.
Okay, so it's a question of like if we can separate that and see how this is probably, because I really doubt anyone except for Emmanuel, actually even maybe not even Emmanuel, has actually watched anime. If you watch this film with no context on what it is, would it be still a good film? Or would it be a good like action-ish film? Would it be a good like film that has like a more of a hidden story because you don't know what the anime is about? I feel like this one is okay. This is probably the best live action anime film that has probably existed. And I think that's a good statement for it.
But just before we sign off, Rob, did you have anything else you wanted to say? You're muted.
Yeah, you are muted.
How did it all go? What was the conversation?
It good.
All right, so at the beginning, so we're talking about like the grand scheme of how this is a great movie, and it sucks that Emmanuel decided to bomb it to shit.
Yeah, just
he didn't bomb it that bad. He just didn't like it.
Hate it for no reason.
To be fair, he scored most of the rest of it fine. It's just that the last 2 categories were a little low.
He just decided to shit on my cereal for no real reason.
Well, at the minute, it's probably going to get my nomination this round.
Yeah, suck it, Emmanuel. Deal with it.
Let's just hope that nobody else picks the film that blows my mind.
Oh, that's what she said.
Well, yeah.
I feel like Alec is blowing this out of proportion.
That's unusual. I'm not sure anyone said that before.
I've never blown anything out of proportion in my life. You're all against me.
Basically,
you should try scoring Master and Commander as 7. See how that goes.
This conspiracy.
You've turned Alec into Anakin Skywalker.
Rob, basically, I thought it was well made and whatnot. I didn't think it should have been any different. I just personally, it. I guess it wasn't for me specifically. Basically, a lot of the characters annoyed me throughout the whole film. Not that I thought they did anything wrong or there was any contradictions or anything. I thought everything made sense, that it was written well. They just annoyed me and got on my nerves, basically.
Have
That
you
was
seen
it.
Lethal Weapon?
I've seen a few or bits of a few in there. I didn't care about them. I think they were films that my dad showed me once or twice. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was wondering what you thought of them because, like, I don't know, Lethal Weapon to me now that I've seen this kind of makes me think of like this combined with like films like Police Story. So if
Yeah.
and yeah, so
I mean,
yeah.
I'm probably better with, was it not Police Story? Sorry, I was thinking about Police Academy. Never mind.
I feel like if you really want to compare it, it's kind of like well, I say similar, but it's like if you paired this film with either Lethal Weapon or maybe Shanghai Noon, it'll be probably be a decent like double bill. I think those will be. It'll be interesting to like see how they would play out together. But like
Shanghai
this is.
I missed that film.
Yeah, I thought it was like I thought it was really interesting to watch it now as like a fresh film because it's kind of like it's a bit of a time capsule. Because I mean, if you go back to like, because it was really reminding me of Mel Brooks. But if you go back to like Mel Brooks's time, like some of the humour now, you kind of go like, oh bloody hell, Mel. Yes, I don't think that ever gets to this, but like, it's still kind of like old timey humour, but it's kind of like you can tell it's kind of like in a sort of transitional period of time. I say it a lot on these calls, but it's really kind of like Simpson-y to me. And yeah, I just I think it's such a cool film. Like it's I think after like a few of the sort of more heavy ones we've had recently, it was quite a relief. I'm really glad you picked it. I don't think I ever would have watched it without you picking it. Because it's a shame. Like it is a bit of a forgotten film now, and I think especially like among Richard Donner films, like it just gets lost like among like Lethal Weapon, Save the Man, and like The Omen and whatever. And it's a bit of a shame that this is the one that's been lost because I think like because a lot of the time when we talk about like older films and sort of things that are a bit more kind of like well like when we say like oh this film's a product of its time to like excuse kind of like its attitudes towards things and that kind of thing like I feel like this is maybe one that sort of like pushes against that a little bit because although it's like old timey humor I don't think it ever comes across as like bad spirited.
It's an old sense of humour without being racist.
Yeah. Yeah. That did remind me though of like I saw a tweet the other day. It really made me laugh because it was like, oh, you couldn't make Blazing Saddles nowadays because people would say you've just made Blazing Saddles again. But yeah, no, I thought it was a really cool pick, man. I think, yeah, it's probably one of my favourites of yours.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it because you're on average my lowest scorer. So
Who's your
I feel like
highest
you're blowing
scorer?
this out of proportion.
I think you're all fucking against me. I don't know.
Who's your highest scorer, Alec?
Who is my highest scorer? That's a good question. It
Probably you.
is.
Outside of you.
Oh, to say it's me.
It's A. Pittman, also known
It's
as
Alec
P.
It's actually Ben H.
Is there another Ben here?
Oh yeah.
Nah, just
I'm Ben.
he wanted me to say his name.
I'm also Ben.
I am Ben
Completely
3.
I'm Spartacus.
That would have been a very different film if the third one went, I am Spartacus 3. I'm the one that differentiates myself from the others because I'm with them in spirit, but don't want you to mistake me for them.
Oh yeah, before I forget,
It's a long bit.
Simon, sorry. When you get a chance, can you actually post a link to the specific Rurouni Kenshin film on Netflix? There's many.
Oh yeah, but like I'm talking about the original one, not like. Oh wait, yeah, because it's the original. There's 2 sequels and the prequel sequel, which is called The Beginnings, isn't it? Right. All right. Yeah. There's like 4.
I know.
Oh,
it's
there's
just to
there,
make
you
it
didn't
clear for
you didn't
people.
say there was a prequel sequel. That complicates things.
Yeah, because there's like origins, there's beginnings, and then there's like others. I'm just like, just put it in the chat so people don't get
Hang
Yeah, I
on.
don't
confused.
know.
There's an origins and a beginnings.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
Is
red
it
flag.
confused.
is it the same actor? I don't think it's the same actor though.
I think it's the
What
same.
what year
Even
was
if
it?
they're not the same, they
Oh
look
shit!
similar.
Give me a second. Give me a second now. Fucking let me. I was gonna do it later.
God
Let
damn
me
it,
just.
Simon.
There's a
What year
revelations,
is it?
but there's also a shocking discovery.
Yeah, but that's like but that's happens with like Terminator, where you have the Genesis and it's a whole fucking like.
To be honest,
Okay.
Origins is 2012, and Beginnings is 2021. So I would assume it's Origins he's talking about, but I don't want anyone getting mixed up. It's probably just to make it easier.
But
Post it in
Simon,
the chat.
what year? What year is it?
Anyway,
What year is it?
Emmanuel, you said I was dishonest earlier, so you
What?
have something to. You were correcting yourself when Rob went away again.
Oh
I
yeah,
was dishonest.
I meant because I said I meant to say not honest that I didn't expect you would be teasing me in relation to the film, just like they were teasing because they were obviously saying something that wasn't completely correct, but it was teasing.
Fucking! I found out why it's got origins and beginning, because fucking translators decided it was called Origins. It's the Star Wars A New Hope, Star Wars Episode 1 idea problem. It's just in Japanese, when this movie just came out, it was just called Ronin no Kenshin. Ronin Kenshin, right? Sorry. After it got transferred to the Western market, it's called.
It's a kitchen that's lost its master, so it wanders around.
So it's a Ronin Kenshin Part 1 Origins. It's only because of North America that it got translated like that. It's Origins, technically speaking. It's like going, it's Star Wars. Which one? The original Star Wars. You mean New Hope? No, I meant like the original Star Wars. Not fuck it, yeah, sure, A New Hope. But it's the same fucking like, it's the same bullshit renaming style. It's Origins. If you really need it, it's the Origins. It's called Part 1 Origins.
Is it actually called Ronin Kitchen?
Oh, not Kitchen Kenshin.
Oh, right, okay.
Ronin Kenshin Origins Beginnings Part 1.
So it's
Origins
set in the kitchen.
Or just call it by its fucking Western anime release and call it Samurai X. It's fucking easier that way.
What is the year it came out? What is the year?
2012.
Okay, we're good. There we go.
Ronin Kenshin Beginnings Origins Part 1 Revengeance.
I guess a Ronin kitchen would basically be like one of those hot dog stands that's just like careering down the road on its own.
I mean, like those are called like food trucks.
Yeah, but you'd have to like the driver would have to fall out at some point, and it would just have to go on its own.
I mean, like that's what Japanese noodle stands used to be. Technically speaking, a roaming kitchen. It's just like a guy in a cart, and he just like stops for like one street for a night, makes you a noodle, and afterwards he goes to another place and walks his cart everywhere else. Yeah, it's a roaming kitchen.
He makes you one noodle and then he leaves.
Yeah, one bowl of noodles. I mean,
it's like just one. There you go. You've had your lot.
If the noodle is like
Every noodle was
Free-
snipped off of that noodle.
if that noodle is like 3 meters long, it's still quite a bowl. It's like a bowl of noodle, right? Technically speaking.
Oh god, that'd be quite a.
The noodle
Quite a
is so
phallic
long that you
noodle.
have to pluralize it yourself.
This noodle's got veins, my dude.
Okay, no, I just said somewhere else. Okay, but in any case, yeah.
That's a
It's
real
tough.
veiny noodle.
Anyway, part 1 origins. The 2000
Part 1 origins, beginnings.
Yeah, part 1 oranges.
2001.
Yeah,
Free,
it's time
free
for some
loaded.
oranges. Get some squeezed oranges.
Rob, I'm
On
going
a-
to try and
on a
get to yours
side note.
about 12 tomorrow.
Oh, sweet, man.
Ronin kitchen beginnings origins.
Yeah,
See.
true.
On a side note, I always find words like this weird to pronounce in Japanese. It's probably just because obviously I speak English, but it's just I don't know. It's always a weird one when they have like two R's like this really close to each other when they don't pronounce their R's the way we do, obviously.
We need to change your Skype nickname from Tana Reap to On a Side Note.
No, what?
You love saying On a Side Note.
Ah, do I?
Yeah,
Yes.
you've not been talking a lot today, but you have said On a Side Note at least 3 times.
Ah,
On a side note,
I'm not going to talk about anything related to what you're talking about, but off I go.
I'm
cool.
actually going to go now anyway. I'm quite tired and got to get up early in the morning. Get myself prepped for some baseball.
Who's playing?
What time does it? I was going to say kick off, but I suppose that's not what they're doing.
First
It's
pitch
ball
is at
racing.
3:10.
Is pitch off the right word?
Opening
Oh
pitch.
wait, that's from Pitch Perfect. It can't be the
I'm gonna
First
pitch off
pitch.
right now, right? Okay.
First pitch is what they call it.
Pitching a tin.
I
So,
thought you
like-
said the first pitch is what they called it. I was like, who's the first
So-
pitch? Yeah, I was like, okay.
So you have a ceremonial first pitch at like 3:00. So like some famous person from the UK will throw one out. Like last year,
If you know
James
what I mean.
Anderson did it last year.
James Anderson.
He's England's all-time Test match wicket taker.
It's just.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, wait, did you say a famous person throws the first pitch?
Yeah.
Typically speaking. Is this the fucking thing what happened with like the Dodgers and that Korean like supermodel that every Korean that all of those fucking Dodgers like players were like, God damn, and like
Yeah,
all their
that was-
wives behind
so-
them were like, oh
The Dodgers and I can't remember who the other team were. They went and played the series in Korea to start the season off, and that whole thing happened then.
yeah, it's just like everyone was thirsting over this fucking like Korean like singer supermodel, and all like the Dodgers were like trying not look because their wives were behind him, like damn. It's like
Yeah.
and everyone was like leggings, man. Yeah, just leggings. If you know, you know. And it's like, okay, yeah, fine. Okay, that explains all of that to me. Okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure at one point Donald Trump threw one out and he fell over the mound.
It's okay. He can play all the prison baseball he needs now.
Oh!
All right. So Rob, I'll probably see you around 12ish tomorrow.
Yeah, sweet man.
And I'll talk to the rest of
man.
you later.
All right.
See you later.
Take care. And
Take care. Bye.
I just pictured
What, Jeff?
Donald Trump in an orange prison uniform. And
okay,
being
let's end the call there.
They're gonna think he's